start the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net, which will go on for about an hour. Before we start that, if anyone would like to use the repeater, make a quick contact, or QSO arrangement. If so, please come now. Well, good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. WW7ATS is a group of amateur radio operators who take to the airwaves 8 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesdays and Saturday nights with fast scan analog television. If you are interested in either just checking in and checking out or joining our roundtable conversation, or if you're interested in amateur television, fast scan, analog or digital, we welcome you to our net in any of those cases. I see we have Ron, K87QKU, we have Jim, N7QO, Bob, K9PQ, and Richard, K7ITX. Who else would like to join us tonight? Okay, well, let's start the roundtable discussion. Start at the top with Ron, K87QKU. Tell us what happened today, Ron.
Okay, well, thank you very much, James, and good evening to the group here. This is KD7QK over Tacoma. Well, I was kind of telling Jim, N7QO, that he said he was cool. I think I was cool. Yesterday or the day before, my goodness, I was cold. I had to put on heavier jeans, and I had to put on this heavy t-shirt, and then the shirt I have on is really heavy flannel shirt. And the temperature in the house at 70 degrees, you know, it's ridiculous. You go outside, come in, it's warm, but sitting around in here, it was cold. So what else is going on? Not very much. I haven't hardly left the place. I don't have too much to report on. I was wondering how Richard's wife, Debbie's doing. Hopefully she's doing good. I and Joanne, I think, are getting a little better every day. We're almost back to normal. Not quite, but almost. The other day when I was cold, I thought maybe I was having a relapse. And I sure don't want that to happen. Man, before we know it, Christmas is going to be here. So anyway, with that, I'll turn it back to the group, KD7QKU.
Thank you very much. Let's go next to Jim, N7QO out in Covington. Jim, what's going on? N7QO, thank you, Jim. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm cold, too. I've got 37 degrees at the house here, but I'll tell you what, it feels to me more like it's in the 20s. The heater's going for all it's worth. During my last net, my space heater blew up, so it's kind of out of service. But the furnace, I guess I should have turned it on a couple hours earlier. It takes a little while to heat things up. Oh well. At least I can't see my breath here in the shack, so that's encouraging. Oh, by the way, Jim, if Bob comes on, he was unable to hear us. So, and in fact, when I tried connecting, I had some audio issues as well. I had to completely exit Zoom and then get back on. Well, we should have audio on the 08 machine without any trouble. So, strange things going on tonight. My 1.2 gigahertz downlink is not receiving anything, but that's okay, I guess. It's probably either my antenna is shivering or perhaps the antenna on the mountain is shivering, but c'est la vie. We did get quite a bit of rain today, too. Maybe there's a problem with the something getting wet that shouldn't be getting wet. Anyway, Back to you, Jim, and 7QO. Aha, there's the 1.2. Thanks. Oh, this is WW7N in Northeast Bellevue. And apologies, I was a little late getting the transmitter started up. For anyone listening, you can see a 1.2 gigahertz fast scan analog signal. And depending on what kind of little dongle you have, sometimes you can use one of those little dongles plugged into the side of your computer with the right software. Or otherwise, you can go to your favorite search engine and just type in Western Washington Amateur Television Society, and you can see what we're talking about. So next on the list, Bob, K9PQ.
Let me get the video switched back to me here. That happen, and that should be working now. So this background is from, let's see if I'm moving in the right direction, there we go. This background is just a close-up of a tree. I thought it kind of an interesting gnarl on a tree, an interesting pattern there. When I was out, a couple years ago, I was just out walking around, parked near my house and saw that. Yeah, I'm actually doing pretty well with the cold right now, but it's going to get a lot colder over the next few days. So we'll see how that all goes. But I'm pretty comfy at the moment, and I did have trouble, getting the audio. But I'm listening through the radio now, so everything's just fine. After the net, I'll see if I have any trouble getting my audio to work. Apparently I was getting out through Zoom, but I couldn't hear. Yeah, not a lot to report today. I'm curious if anyone has, James, especially if you've gone out and tried picking up Lefsa and given it a shot. But mine came and I actually haven't even opened the package yet. I've got to get the other stuff I never keep around the house, like brown sugar or cinnamon sugar. I don't add sugar to things, and so I need to go grocery shopping. All right, back to that K9PQ. Bob, thank you for that. Next up, Richard, K7ITX, way up in the Northlands. Take it away, Richard. Great. Thanks for running the show tonight and pulling levers. And I don't know, I guess you're tonight maybe the proverbial man behind the curtain. Well, I won't put that on you. I'm sorry. But I have heard that term used more than usual lately, and I don't know. I mean, I'll think of some examples. I was going to say Putin, but no, I think there's some better examples than the man behind the curtain. I'll think about that. There's one that's really glaring too lately, and in fact, that might be a suggested topic going around. If you can think of anybody that we all know as the man behind the curtain, I'd kind of like to know about him as well. Okay. The YLW does not have COVID and probably just getting over a bad cold, so we're pretty happy about that. We were so daring to ride in the same car together and go to a Christmas party where we knew the hostess had tested COVID that day. So tell me we weren't insane. Well, it was in a covered area outside. So the outside part, and it really felt like you were outside. And so I had long johns on and a stocking cap, and I never got, within 6 feet of the lady. So, and I'm glad I went, because it was some of the best barbecue I think I've had in years. I mean, and we got to take a lot of leftovers, and we took a lot home. So
that was my lunch and dinner. Well, actually, midnight snack, lunch, and dinner. And there's probably another midnight snack. Won't turn out to be the most expensive barbecue of Christmas party I've ever been to in my life. I mean, that's pretty shocking to say that nowadays, isn't it? In your life, you know, geez. Okay, and what else? Labor, football, I promise I won't. However, and I seem like I say this every week now, that there was NFL history was made, football history was made today. And even those that don't like it, when you hear of a score, when the game is halfway over and the other team has 33 and the other team has 0, you're pretty sure the guy with 0 is going to probably lose. But no, even at the beginning of when it's even more than halfway over, it's 36-3. The guy with 3 points is still, no, he won. He tied the game, took it into overtime, and he won. So there you go, and I listened to every stinking second of it on the radio. I know it was on TV. No one could watch it for free on TV, so I don't want you to cry about that, because you could have listened to it like I did. And you were just like me when you were growing up, when you had a crystal set, and that's all you could listen to was the radio. And I never got over it. And here I am talking on the radio even. K7ATS, back to net control. Richard, well, I don't think my brother and I could ever really get our crystal radio to work, but we got other things to work, so that's good. Well, anyway, today was an interesting morning for me because the 5th Saturday drill for Washington State was moved to the 17th, which is a good idea because the 5th Saturday is the 31st. However, they sort of forgot to tell everyone until the last minute. So, not surprisingly, the participation wasn't up to usual, although a number of people in Bellevue turned out for the Bellevue support team. I ran the net from home as much as I could, but then all of a sudden I get a text message from a neighbor. He said, well, I've got water pouring into my garage, and I know what you're thinking. Was this the garage, to the left of me or to the right of me? No, it was across the street. So, naturally, I ignored it. No, not really. I ran over there right away, and the only thing I can figure, they just don't build them like they used to. I mean, he's got a 40-year-old shutoff valve, and the stem has various alien life forms growing on it, and I think that maybe in doing plumbing, someone twisted that to turn it off, and then when they untwisted it, the various corrosion on the shaft loosened the capstan nut on it is probably what occurred. So I got a small piece of cloth and a small drop of mineral spirits and polished the stem real well, and then went in and out a couple of times. I mean, the stem in and out a couple of times with the valve, and then tightened the capstan nut and stopped the leaking. I couldn't leave him with that beaming look on his face of happiness that his house was not going to be poured with water, so I said, well, do you want to replace this valve or don't you, punk? It all just depends on how lucky you think you feel, because in all this excitement, I can't remember whether I twisted the valve 5 times or 6. Well, you know where that line came from. But Richard, in regards to going to your party, okay, so where does the line come from? You take a chance every time you stick your face into a rotating fan. Trivia question, and I already checked on my trivia questions. You can't just type that into Google and get the answer, so this is a stretch trivia question tonight. Anyway, I'm glad, Richard, that your wife is feeling better, and I guess Joanne must be feeling better. Today was cold. It was snowing here earlier today. It's up to a steaming 35.5 degrees Fahrenheit out my back door, so we're just having a heat wave here right now, but it's expected to drop in temperature again here within 15-20 hours. So we barely missed a big snow dump by just a few degrees, I think, at least here in my part of Bellevue. So with that, let's go back to the top of the list. Ron, KD7QKU, take it away.
Okay, thanks again, James. KD7QKU here. So, let's see, darn, I was going to say something else now. It completely slipped my mind. Oh, I watched the Cougars game today. I don't know if any of you watched that. They played Fresno State. Yeah, Jim's giving thumbs down. Yeah, the Cougars just absolutely stunk today. But I think Fresno is a pretty good team. They had a nice coach, that's for sure. Of course, that's where the Huskies coach came from. He was previously the Fresno coach. And so, let's see, what else is going on? Not much. Got a call from my sister-in-law today. It's my son, Mike, that lives near here, you know. His birthday's on the 21st, and they have a grandson, Eli. And so my son, they're always out there riding motorcycles at his house and stuff, so they all know everybody knows everybody. So Phyllis wants to have us over there for a birthday party, so I guess we'll probably make that. And I don't think I'm going to go to my son Mike's house out on the Key Peninsula for Christmas. I'd prefer to go to my brother-in-law and sister-in-law here in Tacoma, and she invited us today too. So, but you know, it's a standing invitation, so it'd be okay. And Richard, I'm really surprised that you went someplace where somebody tested positive. I don't know. I hope that person wore a mask. That tested positive. He's nodding up and down. Okay, well that would help, even if he were outside. So that's good. Well, not much else going on. Maybe we'll find some topic here to talk about. So back to that K87QKU.
Okay, Ron, well, that's the cool thing about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. You can talk about anything, at least anything the FCC will let us talk about. So, anyway, on that note, it's 17 minutes after the hour. Would anyone else like to join our net, just to check in, check out, see if that new antenna works, if that push-to-talk button still works, or if you'd like to join our conversation, or if you're interested in ATV. Any of those three things, just go ahead and come right now. Nothing heard. Let's move back to Jim, N7QO out in Covington. Take it away, Jim. I saw you putting a valve up there to the screen. Tell us the story. N7QO, thank you, Jim. Well, that is just props affirming your discussion there, turning off the water valve and whatnot. Ironically, I have a similar problem at my house. It wasn't a leak, but I did have a leak in my tankless water heater, believe it or not. Ironically, I installed it so that while I was maybe gone somewhere, it wouldn't leak and fill up the house like it did at one of my neighbor's places. But it's okay because I have since retired, so it doesn't matter now. Nevertheless, that got replaced with a tank-type water heater. I really tried to do this green thing, but you know what? It didn't work. I'm sorry, the tankless heater had to go. But I had it for a number of years. I think it was installed in like 2008 or so. But now I have a problem where the main water shutoff valve to the house, like the handle, this red handle here, it dissolved. The thing is underground below the frost line. I don't know exactly how deep it is, perhaps 2 feet or so below ground level. And you can look down there and you can see the valve, and there's only like a minuscule portion of the knob itself that's still in existence. It corroded away, it rotted away, it was eaten by varmints. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe it got beamed up by some space aliens or something. At any rate, now when I need to turn off water to the house, I have to go out to the street to do that. So, anyway, so that was the deal there. I was putting up that prop supporting your discussion there, Jim. Let's see. And I have no clue whatsoever about your trivia question. Let me reset. Dick. Man, being around someone with known to have COVID, I don't know. I gotta say though, I don't know him. Sorry. Maybe if it's really good barbecue, that might be worth risking death. At least I would seriously consider it. What the heck? And listening to games, well, I don't know about everyone else, but when I was a youngster, I was listening to games on my transistor radio. I was uptown, man. Let's see. Ron, I don't know, walking around the zoo, you might want to, if you do, you might want to wear a mask. Don't want to risk catching monkeypox. I don't know what the deal is there. And, Bob, we see that tree behind you. When you first came on, it looked like there was Sparky behind you. Anyway, some large cat back there. I don't know, just a comment. Back to you, Jim, and 7QO. Jim, well, thank you very much. And let's see, next on the list, Bob, K9PQ. Well, a couple of technical notes. Yes, I did change the background picture. This ATEM Mini that I use for video will allow me to store a number of photos, and so I picked out another one, and I picked out the Sparky one first, and then I thought it was a bit much, and so I found this one. I'll probably switch. I didn't have enough time between your transmission and mine to switch again, but I'll switch again for the next one. And let's see, the other technical note, I don't know how it is for everyone else, but tonight, unlike what has been lately, YouTube has been very snappy for me. It has kept up fine. Tonight it's not. Tonight it's falling behind constantly. I have to every so often go and drag the bar there to bring it back up to the current time. So I'm curious if anyone else has that issue as well. And Frank Drebin, I saw your note about Frank Drebin. The name rings a bell, but it's not helping. And I didn't quite get your trivia question. Was it something about you take a chance every time you put your face in a running fan? Was that it? I think, okay. Yeah, no. That one, no ringing, no bells at all on that one. So hopefully somebody else will get it. Frank Drebin, I feel like I should know that, but I don't. Okay, back to that, K9PQ. Well, that's okay. It's a tough trivia question. We'll give it another round here. Maybe someone else listening in will jump right in and get that right. Let's go next to Richard, K7ITX. And I'm showing, by the way, about an 8-second delay on our streaming off the QTX site. Four-second delay on my end, so yeah, no, it is snappy. So I guess, Bob, maybe it's at your end. But I think ever since Bert did some readjustments, I don't know, because, it went haywire about 6-8 weeks ago, and it just wasn't hardly working at all, or it was just real jumpy, and the latency was, it was nuts, like 10 minutes. So, anyway, something different, because you're smiling like I've got it all wrong. So anyway, and I couldn't come up with any... I'll explain on the air. Great, that'd be perfect. So, and this man behind the curtain thing, even brought it up, because I know I've been hearing a lot, I think, and the reason why I've been hearing a lot, because it has to do with politics, and you always got these talking heads that say, and that's the man behind the curtain, when he's talking about some, attorney general or president, or someone that's too old. Someone that's too old, of course, has to have a man behind the curtain pulling the strings, right? So anyway, stand by, please. Private message come over, and I'll read it later, I guess. And I don't know, it might be embarrassing if I read it out loud, so. Okay, yeah, I had transistor radios, but I thought it was pretty cool. I think I was probably just like 5, maybe 6 or 7 when I got my crystal set, and it just seems so cool that such a little tiny little crystal with a needle on it, and then a headphone that you could listen to, what I used to listen to quite a bit. San Francisco KGO-AM radio, wasn't that a big, kind of like Cairo in the old days, or KJR? Didn't you guys flying airplanes use KJR as their beacon to fly back to Seattle? I heard that as an AM beacon before in the old days, anyway. K7ITX back to net control. Well, Richard, actually, it was possible to fly airplanes before GPS was invented, and I remember the state of Texas put a book out every year that listed every AM station above a certain power and its exact, where exactly that station was broadcasting from in relation to the nearest airfield or city center, usually an airfield. So that was not that long ago. That was, late 70s, early 80s. So yeah, I remember the PA-23 that actually had like a needle like you would see on an old voltometer, and I think the top is, I can't remember, but I think the top said north, and then there was a compass rose sort of there, but it was only for the front part of the airplane, because that's the direction the antenna pointed, and you're always going to the next station, right? So that was AM broadcast band, which of course had all kinds of problems if you got along a coastline or over big bodies of water, or the signal bouncing around off mountains. And of course at night everyone reduced their power, which was always a surprise, because it would go from a nice loud booming signal to suddenly a quiet little whisper. And you couldn't hear anything at all. Not to worry, as long as you were high enough not to hit anything important, that's what mattered. So, anyway, it's 1/2 the hour. Would anyone else like to join the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, either check in, check out, or join the conversation? If so, come now. Okay, nothing heard. Well, okay, so Frank Drebin was the character on Naked Gun, and he was having a philosophical discussion with someone in the car on stakeout, and rambling on, and he goes, yeah, well, you take a chance every time you stick your face right into a rotating fan. That was a great piece of the character's Frank Drebin philosophy of life. I was watching some of the scenes from that, and there was just some great, they stole everything from vaudeville, but it was still some great scenes there in those movies. Anyway, one other thing I'd like to say is, Bob, you have a really interesting display, because you have a seconds counter on your display. So when your picture was up, I was looking at your seconds counter and comparing it to my highly accurate computer clock here, and noticing that's where I came up with my 8 seconds, but Richard was more direct in doing the wave, and then seeing how long the wave took to come through. It could simply be, too, we just have different delay times, since we are now spread out all over the Puget Sound corridor, and we haven't heard from anybody from Australia in a while, so if you guys in Australia are listening, you're certainly still welcome to join us at any time, or any place else via Echo Link. So with that, let me wrap it back around to the top of the list. Ron, KD7QKU, take it away.
Thank you very much, Jim. KD7QKU here again. Well, I was washing some jeans when the net started. Our hamper was pretty full. Joanne has had other things to do besides wash clothes, so I decided I had a couple of pair of jeans that needed to be washed, and I had put it off, so I put them in, and I didn't want the dryer to stop and get them all wrinkled, so I went and taken them out. You were talking about directional finders. Well, I had a friend that had a directional finder in a boat years ago, and I was just trying to figure out, you needed a chart, if I remember right, and then you needed to find these lighthouses or these buoys or islands or where, and they sent out a Morse code, and you needed to find them, and then I think you could triangulate, maybe is the word to use, where your boat was. If you got 3 of them, I think you could see where the lines crossed, and that's where you would be on the chart. It was Richard's nodding up and down. Can't remember if it was 3 or if you could do it. I don't think you could do it with 2. I can't remember. But anyway, it was Richard's saying 3. I was thinking it was 3. It was a pain, and you know what? Really, it was just easier to get lost. We never went that far out anyway. We were just in the Strait of One. If you could just be in the fog. But anyway, that worked. So I was sitting there also thinking, I need to start the pickup again. The pickup sits outside. The Jeep Liberty's in the garage with the Jeep Cherokee, and we drive the Cherokee all the time. Liberty has a battery tender on it. I had a bunch of battery tenders, but they got wet over here in my larger boat. I failed to pull the plug, and that boat got water in it, and 2 battery tenders went underwater in the room. So I was short a battery tender. I guess I need to break down and buy one and put on the Jeep pickup, so I don't have to start it up. I feel like if I let it sit out there for more than a month, the battery's going to go dead. The battery might be getting kind of old in it now, too. So I probably ought to go out and start it up before it gets too cold. Drive it around the block a few times. Yeah, I hope we don't get a lot of snow, but they're definitely predicting some. I guess it starts, is it Sunday night, Monday night? They've been putting it off. I thought it was going to start Saturday. That's now, but I guess they're putting it off till next week. Snow's always pretty. But, and I don't have to go anyplace, so it's fine. It'll make it look nice for Christmas if we have snow. All right, enough. Back to that KD7QKU.
Okay, Ron, this is WW7ATS Control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Let's see, next up, Jim out in Covington, N7QO. 7QO, thank you, Jim. Well, yeah, I'm clueless about this man behind the curtain. Somehow, I missed, if there was something on television, I missed it. Other than a Wizard of Oz, of course. Let's see. And, Jim, you were saying you don't have a 1.2 picture. Well, I've got a 1.2 picture. It's not as solid as usual, but unfortunately it's also only black and white, and I usually have it in color. But I have a generous amount of snow on here too. A little difficult to pick things out. Dick, I don't know about Seattle radio stations. I didn't really get into flying until 1970. So by then they had far better methods of navigating, so I didn't worry too much about that. Having said that, yeah, it wasn't too many years ago that, just like Bellevue Jim said, some guys would want to go a great distance, and you just tune in a clear station radio frequency and just go. But nowadays, a lot of airplanes don't even have the ability to receive those frequencies. So things have changed a lot. And then when GPS came out, that changed everything. I actually had a LORAN for a while, and that worked really well until the government decided to defund the LORAN system. So there's this thing in the airplane, and it's like it's not working. Reset. So it's not working, but the reason it's not working is because there's no stations transmitting anymore. So this FAA guy that's with me in the airplane says, hey, you need to put an in-app sticker on that. And I'm like, but sir, there's nothing wrong with this device. They're just, for whatever reason, the government is no longer transmitting LORAN signals. So, I don't know. Anyway, watch out for the government. And let's see here. Ron, yeah, batteries. When I used to live in colder climates, there are batteries that could definitely start your engine when they're warm, but not when they're cold. So you may need to jump it if the battery's really tired there, and there hasn't been a battery tender on it. So good luck with that. Maybe just defer it until the week after the cold weather goes away. That's what I would do personally. Back to you, Jim, and 7QL.
The WW7 control for the WW7ATS tonight. Thank you for that. Let's see, next up, Richard, K7ITX. You look surprised. I put you at the bottom. Last time you were at the top, but no, it's Bob Richard, unless someone else breaks in. Gone yet, James? Okay, we're going to get this straight here. I think Bob was next up after Jim, so that's my mistake. So, Bob, take it away. We had that long delay this time for it to shut off. I was just about to comment that this week it seems like we didn't have that long delay before the repeater shut off the signal, but just then it did, so maybe I just wasn't noticing it. Okay, so let me explain myself on YouTube. So what I mean by I don't mean the delay between when I'm talking and when it shows up on YouTube. What I mean is, if you look on our live, if you put the mouse over the live screen, you'll see the red line at the bottom that shows the progress of the video, right? And that should be all the way to the right. Well, mine is currently 7 minutes and 38 seconds behind. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. And it used to happen a lot. It used to happen especially when somebody had bad video, a really bad snowy signal. YouTube had trouble dealing with it, and it didn't keep up. But for some reason, mine's just doing that tonight, and I haven't had that happen for a long, long time, so I'm not sure. And it sounds like it's not happening to any of you, so I don't know what's going on with me here. Yeah, man behind the curtain, I do get what you're saying, Richard, and I just can't think of any examples. I tried, and currently I can't think of any, so sorry, can't help you out there. But it's a good idea for a topic. I like having a topic. Oh, and then the new background picture behind me. This is let me break. This is on Long Island, where my brother lives at Stony Brook, and we
went there for a family reunion a few years ago, and this was it was a mill, actually from a stream. I wasn't sure which photo to show because I have a lot of photos, but they're all sort of close up of various parts. This one, let me get out of the way. You can see. Let's see. I'm going to do the TV thing where okay, you can see right there. There's a pulley, and it's got the old leather straps for the rather than rubber for to go with the pulleys, and it had a little stream and that turned the paddle wheel, and then this was a mill for creating flour, and it's got a lot of parts to it. It's rather complex. So there's a part where sort of sorting through the kernels of corn or whatever it was, wheat maybe, that they were doing, and sifting through them, and then it falls down and it gets collected, and then you've got the actual millstone happening at the bottom, and then there's collection points out from there. So there's a lot going on there. It was an interesting thing. It's obviously it's a museum now, but it was really quite interesting to see. One of the fun things we did when we were out there. Another one was we got a guided tour of the area, and being there in the one of the older parts of the water powered. Yes, James, it's water powered from a stream, and there's just a lot of history there, going back long before the revolution, and so it was nice to get a walking tour of that. My brother set that up and got us a walking tour with a tour guide, and that was a really nice thing to do as well. Okay, I'll send it back to that K9PQ.
Okay, wow, well, interesting. Yes, I can see the giant leather thing now that you pointed it out, and that's interesting technology. So now, Richard, K7ITX. Now for sure I know you're up. Now don't deny it. Okay, go ahead, Richard.
Had me fooled that he was on his own grand stream, and he really wasn't. He was on mine, and so that's why I'm scrambling around. So here we go. Okay. So anyway, so great. Thank you, Bob, for explaining what you really meant. And yeah, I think it's probably just at your end. And I'm just so been balled up with this latency thing that goes on. I forgot to switch myself in. Well, yeah, I know, and having our YouTube is doing so good, it just looked like you had switched in when I had done it on my end. So it's pretty fun. I have to admit, I really like our technical difficulties. If you want to know the truth, it just adds a little spice. So, but now I have to get back to you guys on this COVID party. The person, no, first of all, it could have been a lot more people positive. How would I know? And how would I know about the people at the grocery store that I walked past, or the people in public, or like go to a job site or something? I don't know, but I'm outside. I'm always outside, and well, not at the grocery store, but the grocery store's got really, really super high ceilings. So as long my policy, and a mask, so my policy is to stay away as far as possible outside, and that's pretty darn good recommendations I've heard from doctors and everybody else, and God, it was really very airy, let me put it that way. So I don't know, had no fear, and that's been how I protect myself the whole time during this. So I don't know. I don't know what else you can do, quite honest, unless you just crawl under or dig a hole and stay, and actually seriously to a lot of people in my conditions. The doctors are really paranoid that people like me will not go out and not exercise
exercise and just, and because I'll tell you, is people like me, it's addicting to not move. Seriously, it's weird to say that, but when I get up in the morning and I'm sitting with my coffee and I'm not really moving and I just woke up, I feel like the greatest you could ever feel in the world. And I think to myself, wow, I wish I could feel like this 24/7, but sadly, it's not like that. I think maybe probably everybody feels really good in the morning. And anyway, that's besides the point. You just can't give up, and you just be smart about it, and that's how I'm playing my cards right now. And I know I made a lot of people happy. Let me put it that way. K7ITX, back to net control.
Well, Richard, what you're saying makes a tremendous amount of sense, but we have the make fun of it rule on the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. So, like, for example, when I go out tomorrow, knowing full well we'll probably be getting into snow, just so I can run by a loaf of bread and I get stuck, and I tell you about that on Wednesday, you're, of course, allowed to reciprocate fully. When asked if the bread was really worth it. Speaking of which, I forgot to mention, someone was saying that really pork barbecue is always worth it. And the only people I've known to ever disagree with that usually are the pigs, and they always object. But, I don't think they get a vote. Of course, Benjamin Franklin said, plurality is the wolves and the sheep all getting together and deciding what's for lunch, and a true democracy is when the sheep are armed with a fire alarm. So anyway, and Ron, I'm sorry to hear about the death of your battery tenders. Maybe this is secretly why I buy those cheap things from Harbor Freight. They have no protection. If you absolutely just accidentally touch the plus and minus together, they're gone. They're gone. You'd have a small paperweight. Of course, being amateur radio operators, you always have to cut off the power cord and cut off the two little clippies, even though you never know what you're going to do with those two parts, right? But you just have to, say that, and maybe even take all the parts off the little boards that aren't dead yet. But I had a friend of mine give me a dead battery charger that was really quite interesting. The battery charger design was in that era that everything, there's a dead power cord, see, yeah, there's one. Just keep it away from 120 volts and you'll be fine. But he gave me this battery charger that wouldn't work, and actually it filled his garage with smoky fumes, and so he didn't want it near his house, because he's sensible, unlike me. So, but what it wasn't quite an analog design, and it wasn't that era, I'm guessing maybe the 80s, somewhere in there, when it was kind of half and half. Because I opened it up and saw some obvious things. And then, repaired some stuff. The cinder is the hint that that's probably a part that's gone. So I would just replace that stuff. But it started to win, and I tested it, and it worked. And it even does things like, once the battery's charged, it can sense that it will turn a little on a charge and then go back to a low level, so you can, this is like the very first battery tender, but there's no lack of pump in it. So I was able to think components, how the thing really honestly works. Working against. Actually, there was nothing on that board that was bad, and it still functions, so that was kind of an interesting one. The other thing I was going to mention was that I was flying with a flight instructor many years ago, and he was explaining to me about the low-wave navigation. There's still a low-wave navigational radio in this thing too, called was it called DF directions? I can't remember the term they used for those things. So that it was a little space of frequency right below the AM band, and there was a name for that. And on this radio, there was something mysteriously labeled BFO. And he honestly, when he was explaining to me how you set this up, and there were still approaches in this area that still use these things, so they would have little tiny transmitters off, typically off the end of the runway or right on the airfield, and there were still approved approaches. using these things as late as, oh my goodness, I think there were still some around early 2000s. So he didn't know what that was. I said, no, I'll explain that to you when we get on the ground. So I explained to him that all of these little transmitters in the U.S. use AM, and they just modulated the Morse code identifier, usually 2 or 3 letters, and all this thing would send over and over again. But I explained to him the ones in Canada, and I know the ones throughout Russia along the Arctic Circle, they were true CW transmitters, and you had to have a B frequency oscillator or you couldn't hear them. They would just make a little raspy noise, so the BFO made a nice little beep noise. He also couldn't believe me that I actually had memorized the Morse code and could actually hear it. And that came up once when I was doing an approach, and I put the frequency in, and I heard the identifier one time. I said identify, and he goes, no, you didn't. Hey, you have to listen carefully, and you have to count the dots and dashes, and you have to hear that straight. You can't just assume that that's, like TCM from a chord. You have to actually listen to it. And I go, well, yeah, I did. I listened to TCM. I did it one time. I heard it. And then on the ground, I had to prove that to him. That I could actually, like Jim is da-da-da, did it da-da. And he goes, you're right, it is. Wow, how do you do that? So it's a difference in generation. Okay, well after that rambling here, I see we're about 8 minutes to the top of the hour. Would anyone else like to join us with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society? We welcome check-ins and checks-outs, or if you want to join the conversation for the last few minutes of the net, please come now. Okay, well I guess we're going to wrap it right to the top. Ron, K7QKU, go ahead.
Okay, well thank you very much, James. KT7QKU here. Yeah, fun listening to you. I did fly a little bit with a friend once upon a time, and there was some of those beacons around. I don't know what frequency they were on, but I remember hearing some of them. Yeah, I think I gave you a whole sack of those little Harbor Freight trickle chargers once upon a time. I don't know if very many of them were any good. I think most of them had bit the dust. But I thought it would be something for you to play with. I did have a couple of pretty good battery chargers that quit. I never thought about giving those to you. My son gave me one that was a really good one, I think. Digital and everything. And I don't know why it quit. Maybe I arced it together or something, and that was enough to knock it out. But I was sorry when it quit. Jim's putting his thumb up. Yeah, I know. I think I probably maybe hit the 2 alligator clips together or something. So anyway, not much else here. Just gonna go get my jeans in a few minutes and put them back in the dryer and finish them off. I just didn't want them to be all wrinkled. All right, you guys. It's always fun listening. Back to that KT7QKU.
Okay, Ron, thank you very much. Jim, M7QO in Covington, take it away.
Thank you, Jim. Well, let's see. Bob, thanks for the picture of the mill back there. That looks pretty cool. That looks like a worthwhile tour to go on. I'm amazed at how clean it is. I have never seen any sort of industrial facility that clean. But nevertheless, that's cool. Dick, no offense there. All of us are concerned about the health of your lungs. You need to be careful. My understanding is this disease basically finds a weak spot on your body and it will attack it. I have friends who've died from COVID, and although now I think that it's probably not as bad as it used to be. But the older strains, they would latch onto someone's lungs, and that seems to be the prevalent method nowadays. But it could also get your kidneys, it could get your heart, it could somehow give you blood clots or something. I don't know. We're just worried about you, Guy, and we know that you have some pulmonary issues there. All of us have some issues, so that's what's going on. And let's see. Oh, also, Dick, is that Mika that's crashed there? We can't see Pippa, so we figure Mama must be home, and Pippa dropped you like a hot potato. That's, yeah. Oh, well. Back to you, Jim, N7QO.
Okay, Jim, N7QO here, a few minutes left, and yes, Jim got it right. NDB, non-directional beacon, it was a transmitter, or is, I don't know if they're still in use. ADS, this is funny, Automated Direction Finder. That's what they called it in the 1930s, because you didn't have to twist a big antenna on the top of the boat or the plane to figure it out. It was automated. So anyway, times change, don't they? Okay, next on the list, Bob, K9PQ.
Switched in this time. I've got a good one for you with the airplanes. You reminded me when you were saying the guy didn't believe you that you could hear the beacon and just know what the beacon says. Like, how can you possibly do that? A friend of mine that was a ham and a pilot, when he had been a ham first for many years, and when he was taking the pilot exam, he also loved to play jokes on people. When the people were at the I think they were either testing or they were going through their class to get ready for the test to become a pilot, and he convinced them that they had to know the nationality of the airplane based on the letter starting the tail number, and then he proceeded to rattle off what name any country, I'll tell you, because he was a DXer and he knew all those by heart for ham radio, and it's the same letter for a country code, whether it's a radio station or an airplane tail number. And so he had him going. He said, "Oh yeah, that's going to be on the test. You guys are going to have to learn all of this." And I don't know if he ever told them the truth, because he would take a joke sometimes too far. Anyway, that's good for me. Oh, it looks like we're just about out of time. Back to that, K9PQ.
Well, Bob, that is an interesting bit of trivia. That's one of the best trivia. You see, I knew that, but not until you said it. Because now that you say it, I go, well, yeah, that does kind of generally work that way, doesn't it? But never thought of that before. Okay, anyway, Richard, looks like you had the honor of finishing the net off tonight. So take it away.
I'll do audio out while Bob entertains us with his screen and that stuff. So I mean, how the switching can get. Yeah, there we go. No, that is really cool. It really is. So yeah, I agree. But it is the fact that it's so clean is slightly unrealistic. But other than that, it all looks pretty authentic. That's for dang sure. So anyway, thanks a lot for running the show. I want to say Jim, but I always call you James in Bellevue. K7ATS 73 and back to net control.
Okay, well, thank you, Richard, K7ITX. This is James, WW7ATS. I see it is the top of the hour right now. So this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. For anyone listening to us, keep in mind we meet 8 p.m. Pacific Time, USA, on Wednesday evenings and Saturday evenings. And you're welcome to join us through the Echo Link or via this machine, the 08 machine. And we'd like to thank the owners and operators for letting us use this 2-meter 08 machine for our audio channel. Gives a chance for everybody to kind of hear what's going on. You can just take a peek if you want, or you can join us easily on 2 meters or the Echo Link if you choose to do so. So with that, after saying thank you to everyone, I'm going to say this is WW7ATS, and good night. Bye.